So, today we're diving into a pretty radical idea for finding inner peace. It's a path that asks us not to learn more, but to actually unlearn what we think we know. It's all about shifting our entire reality from one based on fear to one that's totally grounded in love. Let's see how it's supposed to work. Right off the bat, we're hit with a really challenging idea. The source material asks us to completely reframe how we think about death. See, it's not just something that happens at the end of life. It's this constant, underlying resistance to life itself, and it's rooted in our sense of being a separate, individual self. That's what it calls the death wish, a force that's playing out in every single moment. Okay, so to really get this path to peace, we've got to first diagnose the problem it's trying to solve. And here's the thing, the problem isn't out there on the world. Nope, it's the very lens through which most of us see everything. Think of it like you're wearing a pair of dark sunglasses that you literally can't take off. This filter of the ego, it doesn't just color what you see, it actively projects a reality that just keeps confirming its own fearful beliefs. It basically builds a whole world in its own image. This slide really breaks down the ego's whole operating system. I mean, look at this. It thrives on linear time, right? That constant pull of past regrets and future anxieties. It sorts everything into good or bad, which creates endless judgment. It's driven by this deep-seated fear of scarcity, of never having enough. And, crucially, it sees everyone as separate, which is what fuels that need to feel special and, well, leads to constant conflict. Now, here's a wild thought for you. What if all the stuff the ego creates, every single conflict, every judgment, every fear, what if they aren't mistakes? What if they're actually the raw material for our own awakening? From this point of view, the entire purpose of this messy projected world is simply to be unlearned, to be undone. So if our perception is the problem, well, it kind of makes sense that changing our perception is the solution, right? This brings us to a fundamental choice we're making all the time, whether we realize it or not. And this right here, this is presented as the unbreakable law of seeing. It's not that the world makes you feel a certain way. It's the other way around. Your inner state, what you truly feel inside, that's what determines the world you see. Your inner landscape is literally projected outward. And this slide just lays out our two options so brilliantly. On the left, if your heart is holding on to hatred, you are going to see a world that reflects it right back at you, fearful, cruel, ready to attack. But look at the right side. If you can connect with a feeling of love inside, that very same world transforms. It becomes merciful. It shines with innocence. It's alive with hope. It's the same world, just seen through a different inner choice. The choice is always, always ours. And this isn't some deep theoretical question for later. It's the choice we make in every single moment, with every single thought. Now, this all might seem a little abstract, a bit out there, but this is where the teaching becomes incredibly practical. Because the main place we make this choice isn't in some quiet meditation. It's in our everyday relationships with other people. To really get this, we need to unpack a key term, holiness. In this context, it has nothing to do with being morally superior or pious. It's talking about the true shared identity that exists underneath the ego's whole facade, the recognition that we're all part of the same perfect creation. This brings us to a really central metaphor. Every person you meet, your brother, your sister, your coworker, is acting as a mirror. The way you see them, the judgments you project onto them, that's a direct reflection of the judgments you've placed on yourself. So in every interaction, we face this choice. Do we focus on their body, the symbol of separation, of specialness, of all the ego's judgments? Or do we choose to look past all that to their holiness, their true shared identity with us? And here is the incredible payoff. Get this, when you choose to see the holiness in another person, you're not really doing it for them. That very act is what frees you. It is your salvation, your own personal escape route from the ego's nightmare world of fear. Okay, so this all sounds powerful in theory, but the natural question is, how do we actually do this, right? What does the daily practice of this unlearning even look like? Let's get into the how. And here's the paradox. This journey isn't about adding more knowledge, more spiritual concepts, or more complicated ideas. It's a path of subtraction. It's about a willingness to be empty, to unlearn all the concepts that are blocking our awareness of what's real. The source lays out this beautifully simple practice.
First, just be still. Then, lay aside all your hard-earned concepts about yourself and the world. Next, empty your mind of all judgments, good, bad, true, false. Hold on to nothing from the past. The instruction even says to forget the very teaching you're learning, just to come with a truly empty mind.
And this brings us right to the core invitation of this entire spiritual path. It's a powerful and poetic conclusion. This source suggests that this simple practice of emptying the mind actually bypasses years of complex spiritual seeking. By letting go of our own ideas, we create this space for a totally different kind of wisdom to enter. It's literally described as a shortcut to presence. And here's the best part. The pressure's off. Your job isn't to figure it all out, to demand answers, or to chart the path. Your only part is to have what the source calls a tiny willingness, a willingness to just allow the obstacles, which are your own cherished beliefs and judgments, to be quietly taken away. Ultimately, it all comes down to this single, powerful image. The final instruction isn't to come with all your accomplishments or your knowledge. It's an invitation to just show up with nothing. To come with open, empty hands, ready to receive a reality you could never have created on your own. So the final question is, what would it truly mean for you to let go of everything you think you know?